Wow, I hope you truly enjoy this month of August with so many transitionings happening worldwide, yet so many are lost and stuck, completely lost where in their own brains because nothing in their lives is interconnected, so out of tune with their own sound, their own musical capabilities, the sound the body needs to heal itself from the atrocities of the past. And yet, I've been studying a few different cultures. We can see worldwide that the old traditions, the old ancient technologies are still being practiced by the many or the few, if you will, that have captured or kept their belief system into the origin of the divine, their own creations, and matching that with their true potential. It's incredible how many quantum possibilities there are to heal yourself out of the boring, mundane lifestyles that has nowhere to go. There is no logic, yet logic is opening up on earth through truth. Truth is coming into the open on every beautiful angle of society. It's all a matter of willing to tap into your authentic self, your original powers. If we look at Eastern medicine and those things, they kept many techniques alive until this day because they look at mentality, they look at emotion, they look at the feelers we have in the lower centers, and so they connect them with brain capacities in order to heal tumors, to heal cancers, to heal migraines, to heal diabetes, to heal like fibromyalgia. And I mean, there were so many diseases, thyroid diseases and so on, that the body couldn't handle through the electromagnetic system. And I've had clients here like looking at a tumor in the womb, and I was even surprised that 2 sessions of only 20 minutes got those tumors out of the body simply by changing the mentality and pulling my thoughts into that body, like it would heal out in an instant. Like that particular person had to take scans the day after, and doctors would tell her, we don't see any tumors anymore, so, you know. And that can go a long way with anything we want to heal in the body, starting from your psychology, your mentality, and willing to tap back in the origin of your human body, the origin of your organism, and how that is being made of, and how we can communicate with everything that is out there, because science has for a long time in history been neglected the inner space we have inside, the inner space that is piled with information, with data, with connections we can make with the whole universe, if starting with this solar system, of course, and becoming part of the Milky Way, as being a star seed on the planet, we have maximum potential and possibilities to create a worthy lifestyle that is healthy and wealthy and successful and enjoyable on every level. question is, how come people have lost their capabilities? How come so many people feel lost in the brain, in their life, or with anything, and do not feel their connections any longer? That is simply because spirit in the body has not been acknowledged. Respect has been lost. Acceptance of the self-created environment is not there. So if we change our inner world, the outer world will automatically change with you and bring that through as a proof to you 24/7. And that is the reason why today every interconnections we can have in this universe and other universes and this star system, the Earth, that is incredible how we can recreate everything we want to recreate in order to bring the magic through, because that is what it is. Pure magic for everybody. It's a question of eliminating the consciousness that is dying every day upon soul waking barriers. The soul that cuts down everything, the old solar system, the bloating here in your solar center, and all the energy centers that needs to be restructured into a new structure. And that can be done in your own inner space, connecting with your spirit, your source, the spark that you are, and expanding on that with what? With the whole Milky Way, with the flow of the moons and the stars, because we are part of all these systems. And once we get that, then everything can open up. It is willing to tap into a new lifestyle, accepting what happened to you and opening the avenues into your freedom. That is what this Earth life is all about, actually. And I'm happy to see that many scientists and physicians these days are finally opening up to the unseen, because if we cannot see it, we cannot comprehend it. So that is falseness of information. We can feel energy. We feel when we are in a company that is very negative, that we feel bad. We feel when we are around happy, cheerful people, that uplifts our consciousness, so we can decipher everything. It's a matter of trusting what you align to and eliminate what doesn't sound like logic anymore, and that comes down in the first place to your health. You want to become healthy, we need to change your mentality, your attitude, and become aware of the incredible potential of this universe and how you can realign to be a part of that in order to restructure anything on this earth plane. So it's very important to put yourself in a new level of mentality that creates new attitudes, meaning also your dietary issues, your physical fitness issues, the way how your brain works is very important. And so you can bring all of those superpowers back alive. You can move mountains when thought is divinely guided by your feelers and live in open flow with all the star systems. The problem is really the unseen, because people do not trust what is not seen and yet do believe their emotions, their feelings, that create either chaos or harmony. And so what I'm willing to explain here is more about your brain's capacities. So the brain is your computer mechanism that conducts your life 24/7. It processes incredible volumes of data in coordination with the five senses, or out of control with the five senses when the mind interferes on the old solid charges, or what is termed the recycling of density through the electromagnetic system we have been born and living in for eons. And that keeps growth into universal intelligence, knowledge, science, physics, capabilities so captive, so it crumbles into decay and really dies off. Imagine the brain as your university with massive, massive faculties. So we have the faculty of, let's say, very important one is the psychotherapist. We have the faculty of the entrepreneur. We have the faculty of the architect. What will the architect do, really? The architect, he looks at materials, he looks at renewal, he looks at new ideas to build sustainable housing and pleasable environments. And so he gets into new materials and invents them and opens his intuitive pathways and creates one idea upon another idea. We have the psychotherapist in the body, in your brain, that can conduct you in your own healing system and deciphering your own thoughts and feelings. There is so much we can tap into, really. And so an engineer, for example, that is aligned to self-education and is digging deeper into new devices that create better emotion, better motion, better, easier access, than the neurologist that opens pathway for natural healing, the artist that creates new visions that enhance human growth, the physician that is passionate about the discovery of new elements beneficial for natural health care, the scientist that studies new communication systems with the universes, the bakery that expands creative ideas into healthy snacks that build your organism into strength. And there's especially the psychotherapist that is not afraid to teach people their access into self-help toolkits free from any toxins. So these faculties, there is no end to the faculties you can build into your brain, because all faculties are connected to our sensory perceptions that all have an individual world of its own, seeing, tasting, feeling, hearing. If you think about it, seeing can be really dangerous because it is an instrument of knowledge and universal living. And learning to hear is one, maybe, of the most important virtues one can integrate, because it enables us to learn, to communicate, to enjoy music, to enjoy arts, and so much more. But it's also responsible for many diseases when listening, for example, to hardcore metal music, or any noise or voice that leads rather to confusion and degeneration versus growth. It is this very important what we allow to hear and see, for it influences all the other sensory capabilities and patterns. Taste is the first line of resistance to nutritional balance. because it runs its own course that may limit our growth. The smell, or the sense of smell, is one of the most important guardians of the body, the emotion, and your mentality. It may paralyze our sense of feelings, and all senses have the power to really help us create perfect, balanced lifestyles. But when all our senses go their own way, situations in life can become very, very complicated. When all senses, on the contrary, work in harmony, then they direct your life in proper order. We can communicate with the senses, as we need to be aware what we are doing in order to give our brain the capabilities to keep it all together, I would say. Keep it all together, right? So to flow together without opinionism, because when they do not coordinate, we get chaos in the brain, we get confusion, we create diseases. Because your mental and emotional attitudes depend on your 5 senses, and when not trained, it cannot recall memory, and it cannot function to find the origin of self back. For when one of our senses takes direction without the consent of the other senses, you get some pretty messy kind of disorders in your brain. And so remembering your powers, your capability, that is massively important. So re-education on every level into the domains of spirit is simple self-discovering. Self-discovery and breaking the old dams or the old rivers down so you can flow with self-educational systems and the ancient technology that is modernized today, but still keeps the integrity on such a high level. You finally start to respect yourself and move out of the lower levels of unworthiness, fear that created it, and so many more emotions that opens up your designed life, and thus your purpose on the planet, and thus your destined highway of creations. I mean, there is so much negative testimony that create convictions and disbelief that make you eat and taste the same value as what you hear and see. So when that is criminal activity, such as a movie, and your ears digest disharmonious dialogues, your body might want to fill that up with plastic foods. We don't need. Because why? That affects all your senses, that affects the sense of smell. Your mental directions may go way out of harmony, and thus creating disease upon disease. So mentality really needs to meet your psychological capability, and that can only be done when we censor our seeing and talk in cooperation with the massive mental director we can load in the brain, so that common sense restores what you see, and so it affects what you hear. Because also memory associates with everything. So whenever a new incident appears and you treat it properly, it will improve your life on every level of the 5 senses. Whenever that particular incident is not treated with respect and integrity and acceptance, and it is left to a high level of laziness, which is very common in soul-fractured consciousness. Things in your life get worse and worse and worse.